Well, all right then, friends.
Oh, yes.
We have made it to another Friday.
Hell yeah.
We are still employed. At least
How about that?
3 of us are. And we are drinking amongst friends. And let's celebrate another week in the books and celebrate the upcoming weekend for all of us. I will say, I do feel blessed to be drinking with you guys every single week. The original, often imitated, never duplicated, 17 centuries running.
We gain a year every week that we do this.
We've been doing this. We've been drinking a lot of beer for a long time. I mean, without craft beer, I would not be a radio broadcaster. That is the God's honest truth. I would not be a show host. Without craft beer has been an instrumental part of my life for all of these years. I mean, really, I was working at a steakhouse and I was bartending illegally, and they told me to pour a beer for myself one day after my very first shift, and everybody was ordering this unfiltered wheat from the little company called Boulevard Brewing Company, and I tried it, and it literally changed my life.
Whoa.
Because
somebody
I became
asked us that
obsessed
earlier. Like, do you remember the singular moments that changed your life? And yours is, I had a beer when I was illegally
Well,
bartending.
I lied about being able to bartend. They said, "Do you know how to bartend?" And I said, "I sure do."
No, yeah.
I mean, I had
You
an
gotta fake
idea,
it till
but
you make it, baby.
but I was not legal to. I was 20 years old at the time when I was doing that, and I
and
had
you
a
weren't
drink of
drinking
it.
a drop, right? No drinking on the job.
Well, I did have. Then they found out like
Were you doing shifties?
when I turned like 20. I think when I was like 21 in like 6 months, they're like, "Wait, you're just wait."
Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, they tried to do the math, and I just smiled and moved on. But the beer that we're featuring today on the long-running, award-winning Beer for Breakfast is the Dr. Juice IPA from Parish Brewing Company, based out of Lafayette, Louisiana.
I had a chance to tour that brewery when we were in Lafayette just a couple of weekends ago.
We
and
did. Great facilities, good people.
Really nice people.
Yeah, love the inside of that place. Some great artwork, and we'll get to it when we get to the can. Speaking about that artwork, but today the beer has 6% alcohol by volume, being served from this very colorful can. I mean, it just looks like, you ever been to one of those places that have those like really fancy, expensive floors?
Yeah.
Like that are, you're just like, ooh,
That's
that.
what you're getting from this. I'm getting head shop vibes.
I mean,
it has that
if
too.
if a dude that owned a head shop was very rich.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was gonna call it, because he's rich. Dr. Juice. That's like the perfect combo of two things.
But I don't know, like
It's the swirling colors, and
It's a menagerie of
It does
colors.
look kind of like what you'd see like in a marble sort of finish on counters
or
or
if you're
floors.
going
Rainbow
into
marble.
like a dream sequence, into like you're taking LSD
No,
or
you
something.
need a bunch of DMT. Like, this is what you're seeing.
Yeah,
and that little dude. What is he? What is the doctor? Who is that doctor? He
he's
looks like
holding a
Mr. T.
hop, and this is a 4-hop blend that they use in this one. And this beer, generally priced at around $9.99 for a 6-pack of 12-ounce cans. Very reasonably priced. But this one was donated to us by our friends over there at Parish, but that has no
Thanks for
influence
the
on the
donation.
rating
We love donations
whatsoever.
of beer.
Yeah, we do. Any week I don't have to buy beer, I'm happy. The 5 categories in which we rate every single beer here on Beer for Breakfast: the look, smell, taste, feel, and drinkability.
favorite part?
Let's start with the look of the Dr. Juice.
Pillowy, frothy whitehead.
Dude.
I mean,
Out of
just
order.
I mean, one of the most cloud-like, frothy, pillow-like heads that I have ever seen on a beer. Interesting, because I believe this is the actual lowest ABV hazy that I have ever drank to date. Because 6% for a hazy is real low. Because most hazies are, in that 8 to even 12 range. And just because they mask the alcohol so well with this particular style. But a 6, this is a sessionable hazy.
sessionable. It is very hazy. You can see the carbonation in there if you look closely, but you have to stare because it's just
a moderate
so hazy.
amount.
But I mean, the thing that stands out is like the sticky lacing down the side of the glass. I mean, this is a refreshing looking beer.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like your normal hazy. It's got that straw yellow, like a light smattering of orange. And as you said,
Smattering, you
the
said.
dude, the
Smattering?
the lacing. This is some of the thickest lacing that I've seen on a IPA ever. Moving on to the next category, which is the smell. Let's take a big whiff of the Dr. Juice IPA from Parish Brewing.
Is it funny that I just turned the music down so I could smell better?
Well, we got to.
I do that when I drive.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, like if I want to see better, I turn the radio.
I mean, so there's a little bit of sweetness in there.
Yeah.
It's not an overwhelming nose. It's fairly muted.
Mild,
Yeah.
Mild nose, no alcohol. I mean, that's no
beer.
shock. It doesn't really smell like beer because at least my definition of beer.
Hops, yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong on this. When I say that smells like beer, I usually think of a lager.
Yeah.
Like I think of Bud
Like
Light.
Pennies.
That's what beer. This doesn't. I mean, there's a light, mild hop up front, a little bit of that like tropical fruit in there, but again, very, very mild. Again, not an overwhelming nose on this, but it is not it's not uninviting. That's for sure. So let's move on to our favorite part of beer for breakfast, which is the taste, my friends. Cheers to you.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
And cheers to everybody who is listening along with us right now.
I will say that Mahoney very rarely opens a beer and then gets through it and then has to open a second one when he's just going through the taste testing process. Yeah. You did that with this one. And the thing that strikes me with the taste is that it tastes like it looks. Like
Exactly. You nailed it.
It's frothy, but it's light at the same time. It doesn't feel like a heavy beer.
Nope.
I mean, when you're talking about a hazy,
beers.
normally like you have a couple of them, you kind of start to feel full. This does at 6%. Sessionable in that way, but also sessionable in the sense that it's not a heavy, hazy IPA. This is a good, easy drinking beer, man.
Yeah, you get some like tangerine in there, passion fruit, grapefruit. You get that first just like wave of citrus, but it's not overwhelming. I'm actually surprised that this is not juicier. I mean, with a name like Dr. Juice, I was expecting this to be a juice bomb. I really was. Similar to some of the other breakfast beers that are out there that are basically mimosas in hazy IPA form.
I think one of my favorite things about this is that it is just so perfectly balanced all the way around. I mean, it looks like it tastes. Dave, you said it perfectly. It is just, I don't even know necessarily if it's a gateway because it's
not hoppy
perfect.
at all. I mean, there's a little dry hop there at the end, but it's very mild. It's not a sharp hop.
I could drink like 6 of these.
And you can do that for $9.99 because that's how they come. $9.99 for a 6-pack.
It's a pretty good deal
I think
for
this
a
is
six-pack.
I think this is a very, very nicely balanced, easy to drink hazy IPA. I expected it to not be as light as it was. The mouthfeel just under medium bodied. You look at this and you think this may be medium to heavy bodied. This isn't even at medium bodied. This is under medium bodied. So just somewhere, like rare plus. This is light plus. I think this is really refreshing and overall a very pleasing beer. The drinkability for me at 6%. This is an insanely easy to drink IPA being priced at $9.99 for a 6-pack. I think is more than reasonable. I think that price point is spot on. I really do. I think
you're talking about $1.50 a beer.
Yeah,
I mean that's a really good.
This
deal
is a really quality, solidly produced IPA, and I normally wouldn't expect hazies to be a beer that I would want to bring on the golf course or a beer that I would want to bring on the boat because they sit a little too heavy. For me personally, this one does not sit heavy in any way, shape, or form.
I'll tell you, as a boat owner, not to flex here, that is a boat beer.
This is definitely
that's a boat beer
right
without question.
As far as hazies go, this one does. As I said, it's probably the lowest percentage hazy that I've ever encountered in my beer drinking time, and I am a fan overall of this. Can I get a drum roll, please, Dave?
You absolutely can. Hear you.
Oh, Mahoney's Beer Scale Supremacy. I give the Dr. Juice IPA from Parish Brewing a 3.9 out of 5.
Hey. Dave looks disappointed. You were expecting 4?
I think
it's like a 4.
You're way off on that.
No,
it's
I'm
like
not.
a 4-4.
No, Dave, I can't help but compare this to Ghost in the Machine, which is their premier
That's not fair.
product.
You don't compare it to other
I
beers.
can't. I have
rate
to.
it for what it is.
You're comparing it to, it's like
you're comparing it to something else.
I want more.
What a total miss on Mahoney's part. Absolute fail. That is a 4-4 beer.
A 4-4
that is a
3.9.
great sessionable IPA. I'm disappointed in you.
It's 3.9, man. It needs
what
more.
An absolute shame.
I want more.
What
it's
a
easy
sham.
to drink, but
you
it's not.
are the worst.
No, I'm not.
You
That's
are
what
the
it is.
Worst. You're getting demoted.
It's a good beer. I like Ghost in the Machine better, though.
It's not comparing beer for beer. You're
I
rating
have
this
to- I
beer
have-
on its own.
Yeah, and I'm rating it a 3.9.
Boo.